Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my February update of my Shop My Stash Project Pan series. I'm so excited that you all are here today watching this video. I did want to shout out that I posted my first shorts video this week. It is a glimpse of some of my cleaning that I like to get done after I put my toddler to bed, and so I thought it'd be fun to film that. I don't know how I feel about shorts on YouTube. I sometimes watch them, I sometimes totally skip them, so totally fine if you're not into them. And also, like, the type of content that I'll be posting to my shorts might be a little bit different than what I post in my regular videos. I've had this channel for a really long time, and over the years I've posted a variety of different types of videos, and over the last like 2 to 3 years, like project panning and more makeup style videos has definitely been where I've grown the most subscribers and where I feel like really passionate about, especially for long form content. But that being said, I still have a passion for a lot of different other types of videos, and I've tried to integrate those sometimes like in long form content. But to be honest, I think that they have not performed as well as, you know, my standard type of content. And I think that's just because like that's what my audience is here for. And so all of that being said, my game plan with shorts, if I do continue posting them, is to kind of just use them as another creative outlet to maybe try some different types of videos. And so all I'm trying to say is check out my shorts if you're interested, and it could be another like creative outlet for me to try out some other types of videos. So anywho, moving back into what this video is all about, I do a project pan style Shop My Stash. And what that means is, with regular Shop My Stash videos, the idea is to take a look at like your full collection of makeup and then pull out some products that you want to work on for about a month. And the reason that you do that is so that you're working from like a curated makeup basket versus like pulling things from your whole collection. And you give yourself a chance to work on something that maybe you wouldn't necessarily pull for all the time, or it helps you kind of rotate through your products. And I call this a project pan because everything that I pull into my Shop My Stash, I need to use at least 5 times. So I view it as like a usage style project pan. And if I don't hit my 5 uses minimum over the month that I have, I keep that product in until the next month, and then I use it however many times I needed to use it to hit 5. I don't have to use it like start back over at 5. I feel like this project pan has been really helpful for me to kind of work through what's in my collection, and without even trying, I've hit several pans through this project. So it's been really good to just get usage on other products in my collection that I'm not designated necessarily for one of my 2 like main project pans. So with that being said, I have my notebook where I tracked my usage, and then I also have all the products that I worked on this past month. So we'll quickly talk through those, and then we'll put them back. I'll select some new products and we'll work on them for the next month or so. So I actually hit 20 uses on 3 different products. These are all face powder type products. So one is an actual like face setting powder, one's a bronzer, and then one is my highlight. So starting with my Kosas Cloud Set, like I said, I used this 20 times this month, and I pretty much just use this as like my all over setting powder. I really like how it sits on my face. It feels really light. It doesn't look like cakey or powdery. I just really like how it sets. And I feel like I got some good usage out of this. This was like a very domed product, and I feel like that dome's starting to go down, and there's also some little like almost holes in it that I see popping up. I know this product is like known for having hard pan, and I have a tiny bit around the edge, but I really haven't had any problems with hard pan in using this month especially. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like it gives me a really natural finish to my face, and then sets even better when I put any sort of like setting spray on top of it. So it's been really good. I've super enjoyed using this. This is one of my favorite setting powders that I have at the moment, so really happy that I had it in this project and I was able to get 20 uses on it. I also included my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one's interesting because I know people absolutely love it, and I have enjoyed it. I do like the smell. I feel like the color's really nice. I like how it looks on my skin, but it is so powdery, and I've talked about this several times. Like pretty much every time that I talk about it on camera, I mention how powdery it is. because it's just really surprising to me that so many people rave about this product, and I've never really heard anyone talk about the fact that like literally you barely touch your brush in and it kicks up so much powder. And so I wonder if I just have like a defective one or what, but I am just shocked by how powdery it is every time I use this. So I do like how it looks on my skin. I do like it for the most part. I just feel like I'm wasting so much product because every time I swirl my brush in there, powder's flying everywhere. Which that is probably good for project panning purposes because I feel like I could probably make some really good progress on this rather quickly. But in terms of like getting like the most out of your products, it has way more powder kick up than like any products that I've ever used before. So again, I'm not sure if it's just mine or if that's just how this one is, but it's definitely been something that I continue to like almost harp on because I just can't believe it. And then I also use my Jaclyn Hill highlighter palette 20 times. Sorry, I'm like being weird how I hold it, but one of these highlighters can just like fall out of the palette on its own. I really enjoy this palette. I feel like Jaclyn Hill knows how to do highlighters. Like I have one of her Champagne Pop highlighters from what was Becca, but I also enjoy these. I kind of just mix all four of them together. I just take my brush and kind of do just like a big swirl around. I don't really focus on one shade in particular, and that always kind of turns out great. Like there'll be occasions when maybe I'll focus on one more than another, usually these top two up here, but in general I kind of just dip into all of them and use them as like one big combo powder. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see like progress on this palette. They're just like baked, and highlighters in general are hard to use, but I feel like these ones just like you can use them a million times and it doesn't look like they've ever been touched before, and that's kind of how I feel about this, but still performing really well, so it's nice to have that level of quality in a highlight sticking around. I also pulled in my Makeup Forever eyeliner in the shade Ivy, and the reason I pulled this liner in at this point is because at some point throughout this year I really want to work on my like little nub of a black liner that's from Avon that I've had for years and years and years and years, and I want to finish that. And so I know that at some point that's going to get pulled into a project pan, and so I was like, well, if I want to work on a different eyeliner before that, this is kind of my chance. And so I pulled this one in. I used it 5 times. I really love this shade. I love the purple, although it looks like it could be a brown or a black like when it's on your waterline, but it also like gives a little something different because it is purple. So big fan of this. I feel like it has great staying power too, so that's always good as well, especially because I mostly wear liners like this in my waterline. The waterline can make something transfer a little bit easier, obviously because of the moisture there, but this holds up really well in that spot. And then I also worked on 3 lipsticks. So one of these lipsticks is actually gonna be sticking around until next month because I only used it 4 times instead of 5. But the 2 lipsticks that I will be rolling out, this one is from Jaclyn Hill. This is in the shade Perfectionist. I used this 5 times. It's just like a typical nude shade. That one was really great to wear to work because it was just super easy to throw on, either on its own, with a gloss, or on top of a liner. I kind of wore it all those ways. And then I also wore my Touch of Soul Maybelline lipstick. This one is a classic. I've had some really good use on this one just in general over the years that I've owned it, and I used this one 6 times. Again, just an easy, this is like darker than Perfectionist, so a different type of style, but this was still like an easy, more like nude leaning shade that I could wear to work or like out at night because it was like a little bit darker. Like I said, I'm keeping one around till next month. This is the shade Mom, and it's more so like a pinky shade, and I only wore this 4 times. This is actually probably one of my more favorite shades of the 3 that I had, but for some reason I was leaning towards more the nudes than this pink, but I think obviously wearing it one more time in this next month will be super easy, so excited to actually keep that one in. I imagine that I might wear it more than once over the course of the next month or so. Okay, so that is it for my update. I'm gonna go ahead and put this makeup back in my collection, and then I will pull you off my tripod and we will select some new makeup to bring into my Shop My Stash for the next month or so. All right, so starting off with foundation, I am working on this NARS foundation in my project pan right now. That being said, I don't always want something so full coverage, and so I was thinking of pulling something else in, and really the only thing that I have in my collection currently that isn't full coverage is this Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. So I think I will pull this in. I expect to wear it on its own, but I think I could also wear it like mixed in with that foundation on days when I want something a little bit lighter. So that I think will be good to work with. So taking a look at my face powder drawer, I have some face powders that I've had for a while, particularly these two loose powders, the Airspun, and then this one from Ciate London. But this CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder is relatively new, as is this LYS. I was debating, I guess, basically between these two, and I think I'm gonna try this one. Although I do wanna use these older ones that I've had for a while in my collection, but also I'm like, if I have something new, I feel like I should try that too. So it's hard, it's sometimes like really hard to pick, especially when there's like a lot of options. And I think that's the whole point of like doing a Shop My Stash, is to narrow down those options for yourself. But I feel like even picking the products to pull into your Shop My Stash can be a little overwhelming. All right, so I only have 4 bronzers to choose from, which is a little bit easier, especially because I just worked on this one and I worked on my Girl On one the month before. So it's really just my Marc Jacobs or my Milani. I don't honestly know like if I've used this Milani bronzer other than like a handful of times, if that. So I do think that it probably makes sense to pull this one in and just see if I even like it. I know I pulled my Marc Jacobs bronzer in towards the end of the year last year, so these 3 have gotten usage pretty recently. I have a blush that I'm working on in my project pan that I really, really want to finish, so I'm pretty focused on that. But I was thinking that I wanted to use a highlighter that has pan on it. So currently 4 of these do. My Urban Decay highlighter, my MAC highlighter, my Becca highlighter, and my Benefit highlighter all have pan. The pan ranges in size, but they all have pan, which is super exciting. And so I was considering moving one of those in just because I want to, you know, continue to increase the pan size. I just didn't know which one. I just had this one in. I actually just reached pan on that, so I think I might leave that out. I'm honestly leaning towards either my Becca Champagne Pop or my Benefit Cookie. And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I'm thinking I might just pull them both in because they are different colors, because why not? I guess I get to make the rules here. I usually like to bring in some sort of eyeshadow, but last month I didn't, and I don't think I'm going to this month either. And that is because I have several shimmer shades in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project that don't have a ton of usage on them. And so I have a lot of work to do on those shades. And I think this could just be kind of like, not a distraction, but then I'm not focusing on the shades that I do actually want to pan. I don't want to overwhelm myself with options. And then in this drawer, I have a lot of different like eyeliners and stuff. I was thinking about maybe pulling in like a liquid eyeliner just to do something a little different. So I have this big fat liner pen that could be cool to work on. So I think I might try that out, see how it goes. And I do have a black eyeshadow in my Pan Those Eyeshadows that I should be using as liner, but you know, 5 uses on this won't hurt anything, I don't think. I am thinking about moving a setting spray in, only because I'm currently using this one in my project pan. And I've realized when I spray this one on my lids after a long day of work, I have really bad creasing. And so I've been using my Charlotte Tilbury on my lids and then spraying my Lumi everywhere else. I have my Urban Decay All Nighter that I really haven't used very much. And so I'm thinking I might pull this one in to use on my lids while I'm working on panning that one. And we also need to pull in some lip products. So I'm not gonna pull in a gloss because I am working very hard on finishing a gloss in my project pan. I am thinking about pulling in one of my Dose of Colors liquid lips, and this one actually has some pretty good usage on it. You can see where it's settled. And so I think I'm gonna pull in this shade. And then I also wanted to pull in a lipstick, and a lot of these are like over here are, these 3 I feel like are pretty nude options, although this one's a little darker than I wanted. I have this Clay Crush from Maybelline that might work really well. So I think I'll try this Clay Crush shade from Maybelline. All right, now I'm gonna just jump back on camera and talk through this pile. All right, so let's quickly talk through everything I just selected to work on this month. So the first thing is this Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I think this is gonna be really good to wear on its own on days when I want less coverage. And I also think this could be good to mix in with the foundation that I'm currently panning. So excited to actually have that in the mix. For kind of like face powder type products, I'm pulling in my LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. I have not used this very much, I don't think, so I'm really excited to get some good usage on that this month. And then I'm also pulled in my Milani bronzer. Again, same feeling. I feel like I have not used this very much, so excited to get some good usage on this. And then I also pulled in 2 highlights. This is my Becca Champagne Pop, and then also my Benefit cookies. So these I actually do have good usage on. As you can see, I have pan in this one, and I also have pan in this one, pretty good size pan. And so I just wanted to spend a little time with 2 highlighters that have pan in it to hopefully make those pans a little bigger and at some point set me up to actually complete them. And then as I mentioned, I've been having some eyeshadow creasing when I've been using a more dewy setting spray like directly on my eyes. And so I've been trying to avoid that by just putting something that's more long lasting on my eyes. And I was using my Charlotte Tilbury spray, but I wanted to pull in my Urban Decay All Nighter and perhaps also use this on, you know, days when I want my makeup to really, really last, because I haven't really had a chance to use this very much because I just brought it into my collection in like November, December of last year. I also pulled in a liner. This is this Big Fat Liner Kohl Marker Pen by the brand, I think it says Rockins. This, I believe, is from BoxyCharm, and I just tested it and we are good. It is still have ink in it or whatever, but I'm excited to try this out. I don't know how much I'm actually gonna be using it because I don't really do wings or anything, and if I do, I'd probably use a black eyeshadow, especially because I have a black eyeshadow in my pan those eyeshadows right now. But this could be just something different, and that's exactly why I pulled it in, because it's actually forcing me to use something that I've sitting in my collection that I don't normally grab for. And then for lip products, I have 3 again. One is my rollover from last month, so this is my Jaclyn Hill lipstick in the shade Mom. I love this one, and like I said, I only have 1 more use on that to hit 5. And then I pulled in a liquid lip. This is my Dose of Colors liquid lip, and I honestly don't even know the shade on this, so it's just like a pretty little mauve shade. And then I also pulled in a Maybelline lipstick, and this is in the shade Clay Crush, so this will be good for work, I think. So all in all, super excited about what I'm pulling in to work on this month. I hope all of you enjoyed this video, just getting to see what products I selected this month and how I felt about all the products that I used last month, and also just hearing the amount of times and kind of progress in general. So if you did enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up. Definitely check out my shorts if you're kind of interested in seeing some other things that I'm passionate about. And if you have not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe and get to see all of my videos coming out. I would really, really appreciate it. And I thank you all so very much for watching. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe, and I will see you in my next video.